And welcome back to part 17 of What If Jiraiya Adopted Naruto. So last we left off, Naruto had successfully brought Sasuke back to the village. Tired out and completely, basically passing out, but he'd managed to do it. So Sasuke is on complete another lockdown at the village right now. No one can get to Sasuke. He's going to go through a lot of, interrogation, trials and tribulations with the Hokage, things along those lines of the village. And, all the villagers are going to have to deal with the fact that Sasuke left on his own accord. You're going to have some people who are going to believe that he's didn't. It's all a lie. He saw the Uchiha would never say, yeah, he did. He did. He didn't give a rat's ass about any of you. It was all about him. Sakura is also devastated, though happy she brought him back. Or he brought her back. Or she brought him back. But she's also devastated just what happened. Ino's just happy her boyfriend's safe. And everyone's back. Everyone's kind of, back to, the regular things with Sasuke being kind of locked up. Now, Jiraiya obviously comes, tells we're going to leave for a training trip for 3 years, keep an eye on you, all this, yada, yada, yada. And then Naruto says his goodbyes to his friends. Haku and Zabuza even show up. It's like, yeah, I can't even do a good Zabuza right now. Don't worry, we'll hold down the fort while you're gone. Say, thanks, guys, I'll see you in 3 years. And then, gives him one final hug and a kiss goodbye. And everyone's happy, and they go to separate ways. Now, I'm not going to go too deep, like day by day, month by month, year by year. I'm basically just going to go over exactly what is it Naruto learns and improves on while he's away with Jiraiya. Because, frankly, he's already pretty powerful on his own. He'd probably be considered a Jonin level fighter, though he's still a Genin. Naruto, first off, learns to control more of the Fox's chakra. Him and Kurama probably do develop a solid relationship at that point. They're not full friends, but they got a good working relationship. They can even joke back and forth. So, yeah, I guess you could say they're friends, just not on the same terms they become later on in the series initially. So, but unfortunately, Naruto can't access all the Fox's chakra. He can, though, now I think instead of accessing the tail modes, though, he can access that, I don't even know what you'd call it, that actual Kyuubi mode where he just glows with the markings and stuff like that. So he has that. He's learned to, do Sage mode a lot more effectively. I'm sure he learns a couple more wind and water techniques. I'm not thinking of any right off the top of my head, but I'm sure he'll learn a couple more of those. He does perfect, because 3 years training with it, he does learn how to use his wind and water Rasengan, basically create the Rasen Shuriken, and then the Rasen pool, we'll call it. Because basically, I'd imagine creating the water, because you're basically creating a torrent with the water Rasengan in your hand, which is used to envelop a person with a seal of some kind. You increase that, and it no longer becomes a seal per se, and you're now turning it into a raging vortex of destruction, basically. Whereas the Wind Rasengan's lots of tiny blade, this one is more just consistent motion, and starts to tear and contort a little bit. Not in the same fashion where the wind does, where it was piercing every individual cell, but you get caught up in it, and again, it's kind of looks like a raging whirlpool inside your hands a little bit. I would imagine, with a Rasengan right in the middle there, and then it hits, and it's devastating. And Naruto, I think, even learns how to use it, basically collaboration jutsu. However, I think he does need a clone for this one, because Naruto has always had to, even now, you had to use his both hands for the elemental chakras. So I think you're going to have to use like shadow clones to use like a collaboration jutsu between the two, combining wind and water together in the Rasengan. Unfortunately, it doesn't create like a bloodline trait or anything like that. It's more along the lines of just, whereas one's a whirlpool and one's a the Rasen Shuriken, you combine them together, you basically get a raging torrent. And basically, Naruto creates the Maelstrom Rasengan, which has all the combined features of both, more or less, and is basically hitting with the power of a raging typhoon. Add on to that, would he learn anything? And I think he shows it off to Jiraiya, and Jiraiya's like, whoa, that's amazing, kid. And, Jiraiya takes Naruto's, lead and also works on, trying to work these Rasengans out. And whereas I had the Earth Rasengan be kind of like a ceiling Rasengan, not a ceiling, but a containment Rasengan, like all the Earth just kind of, you get hit with a Rasengan and hurt. but it also just kind of buries you in earth, like up to your neck in rock. With the Earth style meteor Rasengan is what I'm going to call it. Someone brought up a good point that I think I'll use for the souped up version of it that Jiraya uses, especially when he's in Sage mode. Is that it kind of is basically, it's like a giant meteorite. It's almost like a planet with a core of a Rasengan. So when it hits, it's basically hitting like a meteor, and then the Rasengan blows up and just earth shrapnel and damage hits you. And then the fire one's just a giant-ass sun, basically. Because that's basically all it needs to be, is a giant-ass sun. And that's more than suitable. Otherwise, there's not much else they would be learning on their trips. Maybe Jiraiya, I think, might try to impart a little bit more of the perv onto his son, but, and Naruto probably would get a little bit of it, but she had been just keeping my throat dry, moist, and it's hot in here. Naruto would be a little bit more susceptible because his hormones are raging a lot more these days, but, so we're just going to deal with that. That's more or less what we're dealing with right now. In terms of like other water jutsu he could learn, probably has if I think I gave him the water dragon, but we'll give him the water dragon jutsu definitely. He's already got the raging torrent, water prison if he hadn't already had it. Sure, the water shockwave technique, water needles I'll add on to there. So that's his water jutsu I'll have him learn. In terms of the wind, he already has like a blade, gale pump, great breakthrough, tornado fist, shearing wind dome. I think I'll add, I'm trying to think of a couple other ones that I can add right off the top. Wind Bolt's a great one to add. It's a classic. And I think I'll add another one that I will save for my own, reveal when I get to it. But let's just say Naruto now carries some bandages on his arm, but for a specific reason. Unlike in the original where it's just he had her arm regrown. He has it on for a different reason. So Naruto and Jiraiya eventually come back to the village. Everyone's happy. And so we get back to the village. Everyone's pretty much standing where they are. Hinata and Haku are openly dating. So Naruto will run into them and they'll be together. Ino eventually hears that Naruto's back. He's like, Naruto! And then, he sees Ino. And Naruto and Ino finally get a look at each other after 3 years. And they're both like, oh, damn. Because let's be honest, from an anime character's perspective, from a normal human perspective, Ino grew up pretty well, don't you think? Anyway, I digress. So, yeah, Ino grew pretty well. Grew up pretty well. Hey, I digress. It's like, dude, are you perving on an anime character? Yeah, they're not real. Don't worry. But it's like, that dude, she's underage. She's not real. Don't worry. I'm not actually perving. But yes, in terms of actually the aesthetic of the character, actually grew up pretty well. So did Hinata, honestly. And, I mean, really, Sakura looked exactly the same. Naruto was flat on the money. He was like, do you think I looked a bit more womanly? It's like, no, you haven't changed a bit, Sakura. I was like, no, you really hadn't, Sakura. Sorry. I digress. So, meanwhile, what had gone on with everyone else? Well, Sakura did apprentice under Tsunade. And I think would have, but I don't think Tsunade would have taken on 2 apprentices, and I do think Sakura would have gotten to her first. But I do think Ino would have learned medical and jutsu. We know she would have, and I think she would have gone further into that. Also, we know that in this version, she has water style, so she would have worked harder on that. So, they catch up. Eventually, Sakura meets up with Naruto. Says, Naruto, you're back. Oh, Sakura, how have you been? I was like, I've been doing great. It's like, oh. And then he realizes because she has the stash of like the apprentice on her. It's like, wait, you're a medical ninja. Wait, you became a medical ninja? It's like, yeah, I know. I've trained under Lady Tsunade. You're not the only one who's the apprentice of a Sannin. Oh man, that's great, Sakura. It's like, and then you hear Kakashi. Oh, Naruto, it's good to have you back. Granted, this is not in the same area, mind you, but that's eventually how it plays out. He's like, I got something for you. He's like, is this? Yep, Makeup Paradise. So. Fast forward now to basically them asking questions. So, Sasuke, is he still... Now, what have I done with Sasuke? I do think after a while, Sasuke would be... Like, after a year and a half, I think, he would be taken off of probation. Or a let out. Because I think after a while of being in there, realizing that just didn't work out for him. Because Sasuke is blinded by his vengeance. Let's be honest. He is blinded by his vengeance. But he's not an idiot. I do think he would, after something fails, I mean, he'd be upset for a while, but he realized that, they were right. I tried to go to Orochimaru for power, and I even got power from Orochimaru, and it just didn't work out in my favor. It just did not work out. Now I'm stuck in this cell because I didn't freaking listen to anyone. Now he had to stew on that for a while. He would have had to deal with that for a time being. But after a while, eventually after because I'm sure what they would be doing is they'd be doing a lot of follow-ups with him mentally. How is he doing? A lot of psychological exams. And he ultimately even be like, yeah, it's like, look, it's like, so Sasuke, and there'd be the standard serious question, Sasuke, how are you feeling today? Lousy, but not as bad as yesterday. He's like, oh, and it's like, do you feel remorse for what you do? And then Sasuke's on, it's like, I feel remorse that I was stupid. All right, look, I'm not gonna lie, I want the power. I want power. I want to be able to kill. I want to avenge my clan. But look, I do acknowledge the fact that I messed up. All right, and if I got to be in here for as long as I need to be, I'll be in here. So after a while, they did let Sasuke out. He's on probation. He had to basically work out because his muscles probably atrophied. He couldn't use chakra, I'm sure, because they probably had seals on him. So he couldn't progress anywhere near as fast as Naruto did. But after a while, once he finally got back up to snuff, he really started to put the pedal to the metal on his own personal training. And he got stronger, and he even made Chunin. And it's something that Naruto's not even. So he can flaunt that over Naruto for a little bit. But, yeah, and Sasuke explains this, or Sakura explains this, and one you know is our sage name of the devil shall appear. Sasuke does appear, and it's like, Naruto, Sasuke. And they both look at each other, it's like, no, and Sasuke does something that Naruto did not expect. Just says, what's that? I'm sorry. Really? Yeah. Okay, look, I was a douche. I admit it. And yeah, Itachi's still my goal, but I've found better ways to handle that. And look, you did. Yeah, I put you in a scenario you didn't want to be put into. And I got no one to blame for myself for getting my ass kicked but me. I've come to accept that. I've moved on from it, and I've progressed pretty well on my own, finding a new kind of lease on my life in this circumstance. And Naruto just look at him. He's like, holds out his hands, like, look, that's good enough. Just don't do it again, man. I don't want to kick your ass like that again. That wasn't a fun day for anyone. Let's be honest. And then Sasuke even laughs. He's like, You're telling me I've still got scars from that, man. And they actually have a good laugh. It's like, all right, Sasuke was managed to hold out there, and he's still going to be a jerk, but he's tolerable. And then they put like, yeah, but you know what? I can at least do one thing over your head. It's like, what's that? And he points to the vest. It's like, wait, you're Sakura, are you? Yep. It's like, wait, is everyone in their greatest? And then he looks at Jiraya. You're telling me that the entire time I've been out there, I didn't take the Chunin. I'm still a Genin? And Jiraya's like, oh, well, I mean, you can always take it later, son. It's like, yeah, when's the next one? It's like, yeah, when's the next one? Actually, the last one, it's soon. I mean, but unfortunately, I'm sure you're going to want to be put back on Team 7 doing missions. Stuff and Naruto's now complete. But yeah, I want to be out of it. I want to be a Chunin. Can't you talk to the ladies? Can't you talk to Auntie Tsunade or something like that? Come on. It's like, well, why didn't you talk to her? So Naruto just goes in. Hey, look, could you maybe just kind of skirt the rules? And I mean, didn't I do well in the last Chunin exam? Come on, my girl. It's a lady Tsunade. It's like, oh, trying to suck up to me, Brad, huh? By calling me by my proper name. It's like, well, I mean, yeah, I usually call you by your proper name. Yeah, sometimes you refer to me as grandma or old hag. Well, sometimes you act like it. Oh, what was that? I mean, sometimes I'm sorry for the disrespectful comments. Could I please be a Chunin? And Tsunade's thinking about it. Like, yeah, he's probably well beyond Chunin at this point. I probably could let it slide, but she basically says this, like, tell you what, I've arranged a little training exercise for you and Team 7. Now you'll be back together again. If you can pass the training, just the demonstration exercise, demonstrate your power, I'll grant you the title of Chunin. How about that? Really? All right. Sweet. What do we have to do? Yep. And just don't worry. You're going to have to meet at the training ground 7 here, and we'll get it done. So Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura both meet there. And Kakashi's there reading his book, but he closed the book now. Basically, we're going to, as Tsunade said, this is going to be a test to see how far you've all progressed over the years. And so we're all going to be going up against you? Unfortunately, no. As strong as I am, as much as I've been training too, I honestly don't think I could keep up with you guys. And so, all three of you. So I've called in a little help. Excuse me. And then two blurs appear. Just Kakashi. So we get the test, youthful students once again. This will be so exciting. And everyone's just like, oh god, and especially Sasuke, because he's probably had to deal with Lee a couple times. He's like, oh god, no, he's like, Bushibara Sensei. Yeah, and then all of a sudden the other blurs say, oh Kakashi, so we get to try out the brat. I've been looking forward to this. And then Naruto's like, Zabuza? It's like, yeah. What, you think I'm just gonna run up and disappear on you, kid? Not a chance. You introduced me to this village, and I gotta say, much better than the last place I was at. So, him and so now it's like, so what the job is to take the bells from both of us. And admittedly, I did take this from a fanfic I wrote, this particular matchup, but it makes sense because Zabuza is here in the village, and these three would probably be among the strongest in the village. So, basically, it's like, all right, and remember, you better come at us with the intent to kill, otherwise you're probably never going to get the bells. To which Zabuza, you can even see the shark-like grin just growing underneath his, the mask, just, oh yeah, this is going to be fun. To which they basically just say, okay, then we're going to have to use teamwork, but who wants who first? And then Sasuke's just like, I'll take Zabuza. You can have Naruto, you can have Guy Naruto. And then Sakura's just coming in after Kakashi. So, and go. And then they poof out of smoke, and then not above, not below. And then Sakura does the whole thing, creates the crater. Both Guy and Kakashi appear from the ground. And Kakashi's got the, oh God looking. Even Guy's like, whoa. It's like, well, then, mighty Sakura, youthful Sakura, it'll be I who takes you on. Not something. And then he just hears, tornado fist! Ha! Because he's still in the air. Just, I see. So it'll be the youthful Naruto I fight instead. Very well. How about it, Naruto? Let us see if the mighty strong fist can stand against the legendary frog kata of the Toad Village. And so it's like you want it, and then he goes in the stage of, you got it, Bushibara Sensei, and then they go toe to toe. Meanwhile, Sasuke's throwing some lightning jutsu at Zabuza, who's bursting into clones, creating the mist. It's like, so let's see if that Sharingan is great. Your Sharingan is as good as your Sensei's. See if you can see through this mist, kid. And then Sasuke just, yeah, well, let's try this. And then he just basically does Chidori Stream, and then basically electrifies the mist. It's got you, and then Chidori Senbon, because he probably carries he probably doesn't have a sword on him in this case, because that was a thing from Orochimaru, but he does have his Tanto, which I believe is standard issue for a Jonin or a Chunin, and he basically lengthens out the blade with a lightning chakra, but Zabuza blocks his. That was clever, kid, but not clever enough. Turns into a water clone, and Zabuza has water style, water dragon jutsu. The mist disappears, and the dragon comes and attacks Sasuke. Crap! And then he has to get out of the way. Meanwhile, Sakura is trying to go toe to toe with Kakashi, but he's just avoiding her. Just, you're gonna have to do a lot better than that, Sakura. Don't believe me. She just craters the ground again. I know, and just lifts the ground up. Naruto! To which she just bounces out the rock towards Guy and land as Naruto and her swap. And just cracks Guy hard because that was quite impressive. But I guess I'll have to take you a bit more seriously. Gate of what was it? First gate of. I can't remember the first gate, but opens Primary Lotus, and then tries to. Sakura's barely able to get her arm out, and she punches the ground to stop the impact, but she's still hurt a bit. And then she kind of uses a smoke bomb, starts to heal up her injuries. Meanwhile, Kakashi and Naruto are duking out. Kakashi can see the nature chakra all around him. And he's just, trying to do his best to avoid the actual strikes from the nature chakra as well as Naruto's fist. Naruto, however, brings out Rasengan. Just Rasengan, Chidori! And then they both clash. And Kakashi's like, I must say, Naruto, I'm impressed. However, you're not the only one who's been training. And then, he brings out water style, water dragon jutsu, wind style, sharing wind dome. Good try, Naruto, but you forgot one thing. And all of a sudden, as he's in the window, okay, headhunter jutsu. Ah! It's like, oh, that too bad, Naruto. It's like, and then Naruto's like, Kakashi Sensei, did you honestly think this would keep me down? And then he just, again, still in Seijo, just boom, powers out of it as well. To which Kakashi disappears in a poof of log. Meanwhile, Sasuke is starting to push Zabuza back because his lightning chakra completely nullifies most of the water jutsu that Zabuza can throw at him. And Zabuza has to decides to back off as well. Basically, everyone backs off is what happens. And basically, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura regroup. Sasuke and Sakura are definitely on the winded side. Sakura's healed up a bit, but so she's just winded. Naruto's more just frazzled than anything else. He hates the fact that Kakashi was able to pull one over on him on that because he wasn't paying attention. So they go off looking. Naruto basically, though, using Sage Mode, senses them out pretty quickly. And, gives a silent signal. And then, he spams a couple clones as he goes out of Sage Mode so he can spam the clones. And basically, they all go into the forest and basically go into fighting him again. Now, Naruto is, there's two Narutos and a Sasuke and two Narutos and a Sakura fighting Zabuza and Might Guy, respectively. And then three Narutos fighting Kakashi. To which, you'll have to do better than this, Naruto. And then he pops the two clones out. You're right, I do. And then he just creates the Rasen pool, and then they just say, what is that? It's like, Rasen, and then just the remaining clone, because he can't create it with two hands right now. Creates one more clone, just Rasen pool, and then just crams it on the ground, which just causes the ground to distort and turn into basically a giant whirlpool of earth that starts to suck Kakashi in. And Naruto laid a seal in there, as is the technique's general premise, or at least primary premise, before it becomes the uber version of it. And Kakashi's like, paralysis seal, I got it. And then, but before he can do anything, Naruto does grab the bell, is able to snatch it, and then poof out of, and then his clone pretty much throws him out of the way. It's like out, and then or basically throws him a couple feet away as Kakashi's still struggling to get out of the technique. He poofs, and then the other clones tell him that that's one down. And so Sasuke and the other clones are tag teaming, and then he pulls out one serious technique. A new technique I'll give him called Fire Style Fire Dome, which is basically the only type of defensive fire jutsu I can think of, which is basically like a spinning dome of fire, which it rotates faster and faster, creating hotter and hotter, more intense heat, and then it repels things off with the momentum. So Zabuza's water just evaporates completely. And then Sasuke just kind of uses some kunai with one explosive note. Zabuza gets out of the way, but then uses another kunai. The Naruto clone cuts off the bell and then throws in Sasuke, who then hightails it out of there. And then it's Sakura and the Naruto clones versus Guy, and that's more just eventually overpowering Guy and outsmarting him. So, yeah, everyone's impressed. Naruto barely broke a sweat, though he did have to struggle a little bit. Sasuke and Sakura succeed as well, and Tsunade says, congratulations, you've all improved greatly. And Naruto, just as promised, she hands him the vest. You get the rank of Chunin, you've more than earned it. It's like, yeah, woo! So, they all go their separate ways. Sakura and Sasuke they're friends at this point. I don't think they're dating. Sasuke's barely been around long enough, I think, for him to really appreciate Sakura, though he respects Sakura. He has gotten stronger. Naruto meets up with Ino. They have a nice little date night. Probably, hook up a little bit. They meet up with Haku. Haku and Hinata are actually probably already there watching, just because Zabo was there. They interact. So everything's fine. But what's going on in the Sand Village? A dastardly duo is there to take the Shikaku from the Sand Village. Will they succeed? Of course they succeed. That's part of the next arc. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. That's where we're leaving off in part 17, going into part 18. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.